College student Cole Allen developed a prototype for a wheelchair emergency brake.
The wheelchair brakes tend to lock the wheels, but don't actually lock the chair to the ground. The idea with this is to prevent it from...
Stop scrolling. You are looking at a world-renowned STEM genius from Caltech who just tried to breach the most secure building on Earth. This isn't a thriller movie. It's the actual background of the newest suspect in the latest attempt on Trump's life.
The people that do the most, you take a look at the people, Abraham Lincoln, I mean, you go through the people that have gone through this where they got them. But the people that do the most, the people that make the biggest impact, they're the ones that they go after. They don't go after the ones that don't do much because they like it that way. And when you look at the people that have either, whether it was an attempt or a successful attempt, they're very impactful.
Did you hear that? He says he's honored by the target on his back because it proves he's making an impact. It's wild to hear someone speak so calmly about people trying to take them out. Think about the psychology here. He's literally comparing his situation to Abraham Lincoln while standing at a podium in the White House. You can see the gravity in the room. It's not just political theater at this point. He's pointing out a pattern that most people are too afraid to touch, which is that the big names are the ones who face the most heat. It's a chilling reminder of how high the stakes are right now. Look at his face during the mention of impactful people. He truly believes this is a badge of merit for his administration's work. Whether you agree with him or not, that level of resolve in the face of a third attempt is something you don't see every day in modern history. Look closely at this graduation footage from less than a year ago. This guy, Cole Allen, was walking across that stage with his whole life ahead of him at 30 years old. He looks like any other student, right? That's what makes this so terrifying. In just 12 months, he went from a cap and gown to allegedly rushing Secret Service at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. It makes you wonder what exactly happens in a person's mind to flip that switch so fast. You're seeing a guy who was literally at the peak of his academic journey, and now he's facing federal charges that will likely end his freedom forever. It's a complete waste of a high-level education and a stark look at how radicalization doesn't just happen to people on the fringes. It's happening to people who are supposedly the brightest in our society. Just a year ago, he was a success story. Today, he's a national headline for all the wrong reasons. This is the part that should keep every parent up at night. He wasn't just a genius, he was a teacher of the month. Imagine dropping your kids off at a learning center, and this is the guy sitting across from them. He was teched out, award-winning, and trusted by the community in Torrance, California. This wasn't some lone wolf living in a basement. He was a functional, respected member of the educational system. It really highlights the hidden in plain sight aspect of modern extremism. You've got to ask yourself, what was he saying in those classrooms? Was he dropping hints of his manifesto during study breaks? It's a massive wake-up call that the people who look the most normal or successful can sometimes be harboring the most dangerous intentions. When you see that award photo, it looks like a standard corporate achievement, but knowing what we know now, it's a haunting image of a life led with a dual identity.
Into the Future conference held by St. Barnabas Senior Services and the Eisner Foundation offered a test.
Check this out. This is the same guy developing a prototype for a wheelchair emergency brake. He was literally using his brilliance to help the elderly and the disabled. He was being celebrated at Aging into the Future conferences for his innovation. It's rare to see such a clear transition from a protector mindset to a destroyer mindset. Usually these suspects have a long trail of failures, but this guy was a winner. He was a prototype engineer with a high IQ and a future in elite STEM fields. Watching him explain the mechanics of a brake system while knowing he later lost his own brakes and tried to storm a secure ballroom is some of the most surreal footage I've seen this year. It proves that intelligence isn't a shield against madness. In fact, as the data suggested earlier, it might actually make them more dangerous because they have the capability to plan and execute high-stakes maneuvers that a lone wolf never could.
Essentially break down the door, shoot his way through the door, and then go right up that center aisle and shoot as many people as possible.
White House officials tell our CBS News' Jennifer Jacobs that authorities have found anti-Trump and anti-Christian rhetoric on the suspect's social media accounts. We're also told by law enforcement sources both of...
Pay attention to the tactical details being reported here. He wasn't just planning to show up. He was planning to breach specific doors and target high-ranking officials in a sequence. This shows a level of premeditation that is absolutely clinical. The fact that his firearms were purchased legally in California tells you he knew how to navigate the system perfectly right up until the moment he broke it. He was essentially a sleeper agent of his own making. When you hear about him trying to shoot his way through the center aisle, you realize how close we came to a tragedy that would have changed the country forever. The security at that ballroom is top tier, yet he still felt confident enough in his plan to rush them with multiple weapons. It's a chilling testament to how convinced he was of his manifesto that he was willing to throw away a Caltech-level life for a suicide mission. This story is developing fast. Make sure you're following for the full breakdown of the manifesto. Stay safe.